So what's the most common bit of advice that most people get? It's that you lifted your head up, or you didn't keep your eye on the ball, or something similar to that. It's the worst bit of advice you'll ever get. It's the bit of advice that's passed down more than any other, but it's a terrible piece of advice, and I'll explain why. So what most people see when they see somebody top the ball or thin the ball is something like this. Somebody does a swing where they will sort of go like that, and they see this lifting motion as they go through, and they see the ball go along the ground, and they say, oh, you lifted your head up. Now, the thing that always fascinates me about that bit of advice is that the solution that people offer is to keep your head down, or to keep your eyes looking at the ball. So you often, most of the time when somebody has that piece of advice, they end up doing something like this, where they'll go and they'll finish with their head still looking here, and they'll just be intent on looking at the ball. But the strange part about it is when you watch golf on TV, you watch the best players in the world, they never ever do that. You'll never see a good golfer hit a shot and finish with their head down like that. You'll always see a good golfer finish right the way through and into this full finish position. So it's strange that people pass that bit of advice on, even though they see that every good golfer doesn't do it. So if you understand why people look like they're doing that, but actually sort of that's not the cause, then you can do something about it. So the reason people are doing that motion, lifting up, is because they're trying to hit the ball up in the air as if they got a racket in their hand. So if they were playing tennis, you would swing the racket upwards as it hit the ball to make the ball go up. Golf is very different to that. Basically, with golf, the club should come through and it should hit through and ever so slightly down into the ball, but it should hit basically through and strike the ball just sort of near to the bottom, but on the way down. The loft of the angle of the club basically makes it go up, but the club itself is traveling down. Now, when somebody doesn't understand that or just reacts on instinct, they try and lift the ball up, and they basically trying to scoop it in the air. The club hits the middle or near the top, and it thins it or rolls it along the ground. And that motion of that lifting, of the trying to lift the ball in the air, causes somebody to actually lift their body. They'll often finish on their back foot with their weight on the right side. The problem with it is that it just doesn't get any better, because if somebody's falling back and lifting up like that, then they were going to either top the ball, and if they try and brush the ground, it'll hit the ground behind and won't create a good shot either. So the solution is not to keep your head down. The solution is to try and get used to judging the depth of strike, so you make the club brush the grass each time, but always follow through. So basically, when you do a swing, always go right the way through and finish like this. Never ever keep your head down. It's not about trying to stay down, it's about judging the depth of contact. So you're trying to get the feel of how many times in a row you can brush the grass on a practice swing, and then trying to really follow right through and finish there.